Yo! How's it going, everyone? It is that time once again. We are back for the Dokkan early stream. It's early on Sunday morning. In fact, I guess technically it's Sunday for everyone, right? Because even the PST time zone is midnight now. But yeah, how's everyone doing today? Had a good challenge run stream last night. Did some pretty funny different theme team builds. Even had the blast from the past and revisited the old Hearts Heroes team versus Sin run. Drace, Raldo, how's it going? I've got a Saiyans with no limits, friend, so obviously we'll crush this. Just get our dailies done here. Doing good. I was like, yeah, not too bad. Not been up super long. It's usually when I do the early stream, it's pretty much the case of get up, have a wash, get dressed, feed the boys, and then boom, we streaming. But yeah, I saw you're hooked on the schedule one now as well. Ended up playing it after the stream last night for way longer than I had originally intended.
All right, let's do this.
Dokkan finna be dead for a minute, yeah. There's new, was it the new story event thing comes out, is it tomorrow or are they all on the 8th? The new story event with the Android 16 support memory and then the missions for the Freezer and Goku and Freezer stage are out on like the 8th. I've been playing the game for too damn long. Yeah, Dark FE, how's it going? Morning, Ninja, morning chat time for more disappointment with STRCell in Dokkan Battle. True. Yeah, Wrath, how's it going? Battlefield, Goku Freezer missions on Monday, the 16th support is Tuesday, okay. Although is that your time zone though? Because I'm sure when I looked for the missions it says the 8th, but that'll be for me. Good old time zones. Yeah, so the freezer missions are technically it's the Tuesday for me, but it's at like 1 a.m. So it's Monday evening for you guys. And then yeah, the Android 16 support memory is the same, but like 6. So if you're on PST, it's the evening of the 7th for both of those things. For me, it's like early morning.
All right, let's do this.
Just stop playing, otherwise, yeah. It's so easy to like just be like, oh, I'll just do this quick round of things, like drop off some like deliveries, and then you come home and it's like, oh, the plants are finished. I'll just harvest these quickly. And it's like, oh, but then I've got to pack them quickly, and then I have to plant some new plants, and then it's like, oh, and now this other thing's finished. It's so easy to be like, oh yeah, I'll stop this in a minute, and then you look down at the clock and it's been another like half an hour. Hey, Garrett. Sorry to hear that, dude. I hope it goes okay. Is there any event in particular you would like to see? My LR7 died. I'm a super. Was it 9 million defense? Yeah, Tech UI hits for like 11.5 million. It's pretty much the case that like when you get to UI Goku, that's when you pretty much have to like scout a fish like every turn. Yeah, it's at that awkward time for the missions and the support memory and everything where it's like just on the border between the 7th and the 8th. So for me and the EU people, it's all in the morning of the 8th. Yeah, I need to put the let's get the second channel link in here. Back in the I'm not sure what we'll be doing next. Probably should do some more Assassin's Creed, because the thing is I haven't played any more at all. Literally just been playing Schedule 1. I was kind of getting overwhelmed with it though, because there's just so much to do. Which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it's like you look at your objectives board thing on Shadows, and there's just so much stuff to do. So I don't know where to start. You attempt to know I am run on Android/Cell Saga ESBR using the new cell. I'm trying to think when. How long ago did that stage come out? I haven't had a new Super Battle Road stage for ages. I know it's not really like super difficult anymore, but we need to finish getting those rewards. And obviously they need to finally do the thing where the shop can reset so we can get the extra stamina. But we still need 3 more stages to come out before they do that. Well, 4 technically, because it won't be till 71 comes out. What's an accelerated battle? Because who are the superclass characters that could actually be on here? You are. I can't wait for him to get his easy A. Like, he'll actually be like a go-to slot 1 for this team. Or for like a few of the teams that he's on, to be honest. I mean, we've got to use Gohan, considering it's one of the few events where you can fight multiple enemies. A 90% cell friend with all attack equips. That's crazy. But yeah, to be honest, getting that far with Tapion on the team is pretty impressive. I actually can't remember. Does he have any kind of... He doesn't have any kind of stacking, does he? I mean, the thing with this is you've got to remember Super Battle Road hasn't been, like, super difficult content for a while. So with this guy being a 220 lead, I imagine that this team will just dominate this event. Just 50% damage reduction. Okay, yeah, so he's getting destroyed by most things. Because yeah, once you start getting into the 40s like phases, then like he won't even tank normals, I imagine, once you get to a certain enemy. Yeah, I agree. They need to start easying the side banner units at the same time. Like Path to Power Kid Goku's Easy A would have then also brought the AGL Android 8 Easy A, and both of them would be good for the new Kid Goku team. Yeah, Heart Virus Goku used to be really, really good, like on release. Such a good like tank, and then obviously he fell off because he's quite old. And yeah, he didn't stun the STR, so he took 300k from a normal. Damn. We bring our world tournament every weekend. Yeah, I'm sure Bringer would love that. Every weekend is a world tournament. Shut down Dokkan and start up Dokkan 2 with LR Kid Buu and Chain Battle. God. I forgot this is the final fight. Shout out to Beefy McQuant now for the $2 super chat. Just haven't donated in a while. Hope all is well. And again, yeah, going pretty well, thank you. Hope you are doing well. I don't know why I'm attacking him. Come to sleep. Hey, no worries, Rado. Take it easy. $75k. The only good thing about the multiple enemy fights is they have such little HP, so I say, and of course Cell survived with like the tiniest sliver of health, but as opposed super tanks for double digit damage. There's Cell sweep. Yeah, Super Battle Road isn't what it once was. Let's talk about Patan Battle then. Great mode. See, Dark Heavy knows. Yeah, when he can't tank anything, but then when you want him to die, he doesn't actually die. Golden Week will have tickets. I think so. I haven't pulled anything good in months. Anniversary was horrible for me. Oof. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Part 1 was terrible for me. And then fortunately, was able to turn it around in Part 2. It did not start out well. A shorter event that's similar to Festival of Battles where it gets stronger but the bosses are all AoE units, and god, could you imagine? Not for your game specifically. That's what Amatsu to treat you better. Imagine having stones. Yeah. Get rid of those medals so I can actually pick them up. There's so many things in the exchange like menu now. Yeah, Jaren, how's it going? I haven't touched the red zone from saying there yet. Easy 50 stones when I need them. Yeah, it's honestly not too bad. I mean, the Demon King Piccolo at the end can hit quite hard. Alright, so what should we do next? Make sure you guys hit that like button. We'll just do some like challenge runs and stuff. I still need to start really. I want to start doing the double Glorios leads channel like attempt again at this, but obviously not going to do it on stream because it takes 3 hours. Played D&D for the first time today. Nice. What did you think? Thoughts on what the part 2 LR will be? Man, that's a tough one. I might do that as a video for today, actually. Speculating about the part 2 LR. What are your guys' thoughts? I think a lot of people are thinking like MVP 17, right? Because he's an android and a tournament participants character. So he'd actually be useful for Cell, but would be useful for a lot of other teams that he's on as well. So that'd be kind of cool. Brainbuster! Hey, shout out to Garrett for re-upping their channel membership. Lobster Squad member for 10 months. Let's go. Says love the channel. I appreciate you, my dude. LR Kid Boo. Could you imagine if it finally is Kid Boo? Because I mean, Worldwide Chaos is part of Cell's leader scale. And Kid Boo's on accelerated battle, so he would be on the full like 220 lead. I don't know what to think of D&D. I was playing with someone who made an OP character and I literally didn't get to do anything. Oh. Well, yeah, that's that'll be very disappointing. I don't understand like why people would do like the fun of that, or at least I would think anyway. Like I have played some D&D and like D&D style games before, but it's like surely the fun is like all being included and like making the story together. So that's definitely a disappointing experience. Part 2 LR Hercule, because we all know he was the champ that beat Cell. True. But yeah, that is true. The person who is like in charge of the game like shouldn't allow that to happen. Because ideally, all of your characters... I mean, it's hard if people have been playing a long time and then you like join their group. But like, ideally, people should be around the same level, or like the threat of the event, it's like of the story itself, like the quest that you're doing or whatever, should be equally matched to like all the players. So... You know, Dean, how's it going? Dokkan is quiet, this is true. by Chaos Leader, as the cell is an 18 tournament participants. Guys I play with would not stand for that, it's not fun. The funny part is we have horrible luck with dice. Our perfect elven archer can't hit a tree since he only rolls 2. That's the funniest thing, and obviously that's where like the meme comes from, obviously, but like the critical fail, like rolling a 1 and just like failing to do even the simplest thing. So you bend down to tie your shoe, you roll a 1, so you fall flat on your face. I don't really think about the fact that Freezer and 18 would be on their team. What's Freezer and 17? Like, because they're really good. And they're not restricted to being on a certain team. They're not on Accelerated Battle, though, so they don't get the full leader skill. I still can't really figure out, like, with this cell, who the best, like, slot 1 units for his team really are. Golden Week is the end of April. And just double check, because the wiki has the Goku and Gohan and Frieza on sale on the main page. So they came out on the 27th of April, 2022. So around that kind of time. For like 21 days, like 3 weeks from now. Yeah, D&D is like it's like on the very basic, like bare bones of it, it's like a board game, but with like massive storytelling. Like you kind of only have a board so that you can see. Some people don't even use a board sometimes, but you have a board so that you can see like where things are in relation to each other. But you don't even necessarily actually have to have like a board or miniatures or anything like that. But yeah, it's like somebody is in charge of the story, the DM, the Dungeon Master. Because then it'll be like, hey, you guys are on a quest, and you get to like... It's the definitive board game. Yeah, the Dungeon Master has the story planned out, and it's a really hard like role, a really hard job to do, because you have to plan for like every sort of like potential thing that could happen. Like say you plan out this big quest, like a big story that you want your like players to go do, where they have to go off, and you plan out all these things, like all the different routes they could take to go to complete the final, like the main objective and stuff. And then when you get to the very beginning, you could be like, okay, so you guys are all like chilling at the tavern after your last quest, and someone comes up to you and they're like in desperate need of help. They tell you about like this necromancer that's terrorizing their like town or something. And obviously that's the whole story of the whole quest that they've got planned out, is you going off to like deal with this necromancer and all the different things that could happen and the choices that your party could make along the way. And then your party could just decide for whatever reason, like the players could be like, yeah, no, we don't want to do that. No, we don't want to help. We don't want to help that guy. We're just gonna stay here and like get drunk or something. And then you as the like DM have to like course correct from there and basically try and find a way to like force them to then still go on that mission. So like, I don't know what you would do in that exact scenario, but you could say like, okay, so the guy like goes off because you won't help him. You'll get drunk. Someone like spikes the beer in the tavern. You wake up in like in the middle of the forest, because you've been like captured by some of the necromancer's minions or something, and you basically just like force them to sort of go down to the or like onto the quest. Because when you present them with any sort of choices, it's like, do you want, like, you reach a fork in the road, do you want to go left or right? The DM will have to have planned out like what is both ways, because the party might choose to go one way or they might choose to split up, like all this kind of stuff. It can be super fun, but from what like Sharon was describing, if you've got some random person in the group who then has like a super OP character, that'd obviously ruin the flow, because it's, you know, there's obviously combat and stuff, and that's where the dice rolling comes in. But I wonder if we just use like Vegeta and UI Goku. I'm a level 6 gold crit. Hey, shout out to Garrett for the $5 super chat. If you could run physical Super Saiyan 2 Gohan's team and include the new Easy A STR Goku Gohan on any event. I don't know if my dad wasn't sure if you're taking requests. Yeah, I think when you made the first comment, I did say, like, is there any specific event you want to see? So, can happily do that. Do I have a Gohan leader team already set up anywhere? I do not. Alright, so it's full power. I do like the fact that they are on full power. I really want to use Dragon Fist Goku. I haven't used him for ages. I'm finding out my partner into Dokkan. She loves it, but is asking should she summon on the banner. I told her to wait till part 2 LR. I mean, to be honest, you shouldn't summon on the part 2 LR either, because yellow coin LR banners are never good. Golden Week is at the end of the Golden Week is at the end of April, and because it's a dual Dokkan Fest, like, that should have a lot of decent stuff on it. This game steals Dragon Ball Legends characters. I'm sorry, what? Damn, imagine that the 2 Dragon Ball games have similar characters in them. That's crazy. Oh, Goku and Gohan are in slot 7, because of course they are. Unless the part 2 is a new Cell Max. I mean, Cell Max isn't even on like the new Cell Leader skill. What did I do before YouTube? I have talked about it in the past because obviously when I first made my channel, I was still doing my other job. It was just like a boring IT office job. Just sitting at a desk doing stuff on a computer. But I worked like 12-hour shifts. I did 4 days on and had 4 days off. So basically I was working and trying to like grow my YouTube channel at the same time. But there was a lot of times where like I'd have to miss like banners or like easy A's and stuff like that because it would be a day where I'd have to work. And because banners come out at like, well, obviously they've changed now because of the sync and everything. Like banner times have changed quite a bit, but banners would come out at like 7 AM, and that's basically when I had to be at work. Like I'd start work at 7. So it's one of those things, like occasionally I'd have to miss things, but yeah, I was just slowly building up the channel, getting the odd stream in whenever I could. Yeah, Dokkan steals Legends characters, but was out 3 years or so before Legends existed. How much if you're having an ally exchange Beast and Orange Piccolo? That'd be awesome. I think Dokkan does drop the ball, I think, though, with getting the like new hype characters quickly. Because obviously we had that meme for so long about like Dokkan being the only Dragon Ball game essentially ended up that didn't have a playable Beast Gohan. And then yeah, like all the Daima characters have come to Legends like before Dokkan. Yeah, see, this is the annoying thing. This is what I said in the tier list and everything, right, about Goku and Gohan. Is like him coming onto rotation when the enemy's almost dead. Like, we have to take the risk that he doesn't get supered in slot 1, there we go. Because then, otherwise he wouldn't get any attacks. We're gonna have a team up type thing. You can team up with another player and use your characters to fight bosses. Yeah, any sort of like co-op mode type thing could be interesting. We just obviously don't want PvP. Damn. This guy gives minus key, which is really annoying. Yeah, Xenoverse 2. I saw they posted the thing about getting Super Saiyan 3 Adult Vegeta, but I don't know if he's actually out. Yeah, Mega Nice, how's it going? The single summon menace himself is here. Make sure you guys hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Goku got the additional, but it wasn't a super. And then didn't dodge. I really wanted to use him on the team because it's been a while. I thought we were going to have an issue there, Bringer, because I thought you were saying like they dropped the ball with Orange Piccolo as in like he wasn't good enough. Legends has the most diamond characters so far, yeah.
Alright, let's do this.
Use the Freezer, because he gives Battle of Fate that massive buff on the first turn, which Gohan is on. The physical one, anyway. Not an ideal turn one, but an acceptable. And can we get the triple super with Goku here? Just immediately get the Gohan thing unlocked. The answer is no, we cannot. We've got 2 additional normals, let's go. But yeah, I think Legends does have the most diamond characters. Well, tournament is like the closest thing to PvP, but you're not actively fighting other people. Like, you're competing against other people for the rankings by repeatedly grinding PvE content. I don't think she could beat Festival Battles with the free-to-play Saiyan Saga team. Wait, what? I mean, probably should just tell her. I mean, I guess, because I was going to say you don't want them wasting her time, but then I don't think the team would live that long anyway. That's not the kind of team where you're going to get like 2 hours in. Frieza on his first turn, the turn where he is a fish, no attacks, so that's good. Yeah, just send her the link to the Dokkan info page that has like the boss's stats on it. Hey, no worries, Garrett. I appreciate you. And don't forget to tell your loved ones how much you love them. Shout out to all you guys. Shout out to everyone in the Ningen Club, which is the entire community. I know that's like the name of like the channel member thing, but like everyone in our community is part of the New Game Club, whether you're a channel member or not. As long as you're someone who's out here coming to the streams or watching the videos or anything you're doing to be part of the community, whether in the Discord. Shout out to all the lurkers, people that are at the streams and don't necessarily take part in the chat but are here just by being here. All of you guys are still helping to support the channel, so I appreciate all of you. Feels like it's too early to stand by. Hopefully this guy doesn't do too much with his AoEs though. You rank all the anniversary LRs by their individual performance. I mean, I guess I have done LR tier lists since the anniversary, but like, it's hard to decide between Vegito and Gogeta as number one. But I guess if you're talking about individual experience, like performance, Vegito probably is at one, just because that, like, he can one-turn some of the toughest bosses in the game on his active skill turn. So it'd be Vegito, then Gogeta, then Super Saiyan 4 Goku, then Gohan. Then for me, Blue Evolution Vegeta, and then Frieza and Goku. Yeah, I do actually think Frieza and Goku are probably worse. There's like one event that they're good in, which is the Battle Hardened Formidable Foes, because of the fact that Frieza can stun and then like attack lowers. But because like turn 1 Frieza can get caught, whereas like Vegeta, as much as people like, he has a lot of issues with his kit, and I'm not saying like he's a great unit in any way, shape or form, but he is a very good slot 2 unit. Like after he's gotten his attacks off and gotten a little bit of build up, he does tank like quite well. But and obviously the meme is that he is the prince of all normals, but like on turns where he does actually get additional supers, like he can do a lot of damage. But yes, when you get the turns where he just does like all normal attacks, that is super annoying. Getting a Switch 2? I don't know, probably not, or if I do eventually, probably not straight away. We have a Switch, so we play like Mario Party on, but I guess it depends like what comes out for it, because those kind of party games and stuff are like, I think, the main draw for a lot of people. Obviously both Little Blue and I are into like the big like console releases like Assassin's Creed, stuff like that. I don't know, it just depends what kind of stuff is gonna be out, I guess. But yeah, the price increase on games is kind of wild. People are talking about, like, in the past, someone showed a picture from like an American magazine from back in like the N64 days, and the games were like $60, which is crazy. Like, I don't remember that at all. I need to float you off and get you off the Broly rotation otherwise. Yeah, I saw people saying about like Dusk Bloods is a FromSoft game and it looks like a spiritual successor to Bloodborne, but I haven't actually watched like the trailer for it or anything. But I have heard people talking about it. Yeah, Gordon Ramsay on Hot Ones. GTA 6 is going to cost $100 and Rockstar can get away with it. Yeah, I saw people saying like the Switch games are going to be like $90 each or something. That's the thing I used to, I've said before, like I used to work in like a game store. It was like a UK equivalent of like GameStop kind of thing. Back in the day. It was like a long time ago, like when the 360 came out kind of thing. And even then I saw when games went from being like PlayStation 2 games and stuff when they first came out would be like, in UK money, would be like, I don't know, 40 quid, like 39.99 maybe. And then when like the 360 and PS3 came out, games went up to being like 50. And then obviously we got to like where we are now with like the Xbox One and Xbox One X and like PS5, where games brand new are like 60 to 70. And it's just like slowly but surely with each like console generation or whatever, they've gone up. Oh, Gohan's locked in slot 3. Of course he is. I mean, I guess we'll just do this. Shout out to HMV. Yeah, one of my friends used to work at an HMV. Sticking with PC Master Race. I mean, yeah, the best thing is you can often get codes from sites. Like, there was one that I've used before. My friend used to use PC gaming called, like, it's like King Gwyn. It's like the combination of king and penguin. I'm pretty sure their logo is a penguin with a crown. And you can get games like a little bit cheaper. And obviously there's like Steam, the big Steam sales and all that kind of stuff. Like, just use Windex. I remember we actually got a machine at one point that you could put like discs in that just gave like a, I'm not sure what it put on it, but it was like a layer of like a cleaner type thing, and it took some of the scratches out. Obviously if like discs had massive like major scratches in, there wasn't much that like could be done, but that was the thing. I know someone saw, and I said, when I said someone posted that like magazine thing where it had like N64 games for like $60, and someone was saying like, see, like even in the old days games were really expensive, but like the one thing that they didn't really point out is that on that same picture it showed that the actual console itself was only like $150. And I say only, but obviously if the console's $150 and the games are like 50, then, you know, buying the console and a couple of games is going to be like maybe 300. Whereas obviously if a console is costing like, you know, like now with next gen consoles, if a console is costing like $500 and then the games are like 60 plus, then even just getting the console with like one game is going to cost a lot. Yeah, I remember that. Like, if your PS2 discs had a scratch on it, and you'd have like the PS2 logo would come up at the beginning, and then it'd be that like waiting game of like, is the game actually going to load now? Alright, so Gohan got locked in slot 2, which would be bad, except we can go ahead and stand by with this guy. So then we're not going to do any damage. Which means this guy will still get to... I mean, he'll attack, but hopefully he won't kill. And then obviously he'll then get his hits in. Because if he doesn't get hit, then he's in trouble.
Time to get serious.
But yeah, that is the thing. With the Switch 2, like, some of the prices that people have been seeing, or people have been, like, rumoured and stuff. Like, it's funny, because, like, the meme of, like, you know... GTA 6 is going to cost $100. Like, it's potentially just going to be true at this point. Yo, I eat toads. How's it going? LR Goku Frieza's overhated. Frieza's side can be bad, but the Goku side's good. Yeah, the Goku side is good. It's just, I guess the problem is if you're going into like a tough event, and there are attacks in like every slot, the fact that Frieza can get destroyed on his, like, the turn where you have to have at least one turn where Frieza is out. Plus, then also, depending on the situation, you have to... I didn't actually see what happened on the thing is, actually, this is one of the few events where Gohan not getting his full build-up is actually not really a huge issue, because his passive thing is he only gets the guard and the damage reduction for 3 turns. But obviously his passive, it always was like this pre-EZA as well, but his build-up that he gets is when guard is activated. So even if you have the 2 appearances with him and he doesn't get those 5 hits in, if you're fighting a physical boss, then obviously when he gets hit by the physical boss, he still counts as guarding. So he can actually still unlock the rest of his passive if you're fighting a physical enemy. Which is quite good. I wouldn't be surprised if eventually they start making us pay for a subscription for games. I mean, they kind of already do that kind of thing. Yeah, to be honest, I forget how Goku works sometimes because I barely ever use him. Yeah, he literally just needs 1 rainbow orb, doesn't he? But I guess, yeah, we use the target ability for beasts, so I suppose it doesn't matter. But yeah, I was going to say, with things like, there's a lot of digital stuff now, which is, it's one of the things that people have complained about a lot, is that they can just remove stuff from digital marketplaces and that, even if it's something you've already paid for. Plus, the big thing with digital is it's not a huge issue. It's not like it's something that happens all the time. But let's say, like, you're having a problem with your internet and your internet goes down. Like, with certain consoles and the way certain games work, like, you can't play, even if the game itself is single player, if it's a digital version that you downloaded from the marketplace, like, it won't work properly. And to be honest, there's a lot of single player games that, because a lot of games are kind of adapting this whole like live service kind of approach with like updates and stuff, there's a lot of games that are just completely single player, but you have to be online for them to work. Like, which is kind of crazy. Yeah, obviously, if your electricity goes out, then you can't. It's not going to work, obviously, regardless. But I was going to say, if you have a power cut, but yeah, you obviously couldn't play your console at all. But like, yeah, if your internet goes down, especially if you like game share as well, because then you have to be online to like for it to recognize that you own the game. At least, especially on Xbox, because I Xbox game share with like Sister again. So it basically means that like you can play like the games that the other person bought. But even if you bought the game yourself, if you're not online, it doesn't like recognize it, so it doesn't work. I mean, that's the thing. For the sake of convenience and like even things like, I mean, it's not like it's a huge issue that I have that I need to work around, but even things like storage space and stuff like that, like it's just, I feel like it is just easier to have digital, and like depending on the size of your hard drive, like on my Xbox, right, like I will delete a game if I'm not playing it to clear up space to get something else. But then like if I randomly decide, like I did recently on the second channel, where it's like, oh, I want to play like Resident Evil again, then I just re-download it. But that is the thing that I was saying, like they could at some point if they really wanted to, which doesn't happen very often, but if they really wanted to, like at some point, because I was thinking about, because I did Resident Evil 1 and Resident Evil 2, I was thinking about doing Resident Evil 3 on the second channel at some point. I haven't re-downloaded it yet, so even though I bought it, like I don't have it on my console. They could just randomly decide tomorrow to take Resident Evil 3 off of the marketplace. So then, even though I did technically buy it, like back when it first came out, I then wouldn't be able to download it again. And so I wouldn't be able to play it. It's like all the stuff with like PT, when Hideo Kojima like broke with Konami and they cancelled Silent Hills. They took PT off of the PlayStation thing and basically made it so it just didn't work anymore. But yeah, exactly. Digital is more convenient, but physical is like, you know, you've actually got the thing. But that's the thing, like I opted for, like I've got the PS5, but like I opted for the slightly cheaper one that doesn't have the disc drive. So I can't, like, I couldn't even play a physical PS5 game. Like if someone gave me one, it's just like, hey, here's a copy of this, you should play it. Like, I wouldn't be able to because I don't have the disc drive on my PlayStation. But that's why emulation is so good. Well, that's why PC stuff can be good, because PC, like, not only can you have emulators and like mods and all that kind of stuff, you can download stuff, and then if like a game, you know, does stop getting supported or something like that, like people can make mods and things to like make it work again and stuff like that. Like, it's pretty cool. Yeah, having to walk over to change the discs is annoying. Man, I remember back in the day playing like Final Fantasy VII on the PS1, the fact that it was a 3-disc game. So you'd get to a certain point and then you'd actually have to open the disc tray and take the first disc out and put the second disc in and then close the disc tray, and then the game would continue. In fact, I can't remember, there was a game, it wasn't that one. There was a game that had 2 discs, but like one of the discs was a certain part of the world in the game. So even if you were, regardless of how far through you were, if you wanted to like go back to another bit, you'd have to like change back to disc 1. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's not like it's the end of the world, like having to change the disc over, but it's so much more convenient now. Like I say, even with CDs and stuff, like just listening to music on various different apps. Playing Indiana Jones on 6 million floppy disks. Remember Game Genie? Yeah, wasn't that the thing for like, was it Game Boy or? I think the Mega Drive version, like Game Shark, where it was like a cartridge that you would plug your game into the top of it and plug it into the thing, and then that's how you would get like a bunch of cheats and stuff. I mean, just remember when cheats were a thing, like cheat codes, and games magazines would come with little books of like all the different cheat codes for games. And like one, obviously the big one that everyone remembers is like GTA, like San Andreas, where you'd get codes for like all the different things, like getting money, flying cars, like all this crazy stuff. And I remember it would be it'd be funny if you got like a second-hand copy of a game from like somewhere like a GameStop, and then like you could potentially get lucky and get that copy of the game where someone had left like a post-it note stuck in like the front cover of the instruction manual that had all of the cheat codes on it, and had forgot and like left it in there when they like traded it in. Yeah, I don't think games don't have like stuff like that in anymore. Like I don't think GTA 5 didn't have like cheat codes, did it? Had the health recovery cheat memorized on deck. Yeah, it's like some crazy Helldivers type thing. We had to just put in a bunch of different like arrow and button combinations. Yeah. Yo, Tala, how's it going? Alright, so what's next? Miss GoldenEye 007, yeah, on the N64, the classic team or PvP shooter. And someone would always play as Oddjob because he was a shorter character sprite, so it was like a smaller target. Yeah, you actually have to grind in GTA now. I'm really hungover today. In Australia, the Switch is $700 and the games are $120. Damn. Yeah, that is crazy. That is a lot. Turok 2. Man, old school. Right. So I've just been doing some random like challenge runs. Just having a chill morning this morning on Dokkan. So if there's anything you guys want to see in particular, let me know. Make sure you guys hit that like button. I just did the Goku and Gohan on the full power team. In USA, prices are still affordable. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see like when all the stuff comes out, like because I know some of it is just speculation, so it'll be interesting to see like when the stuff comes out, like how much it actually is. Like, Yeah, it's like Prey, the first Prey like game on the 360. No, was it 360? And then they spent like years waiting for like to make a sequel, and then when it came out, I think it just went like completely under the radar. I don't remember anyone really talking about it or anything. Pre-orders in Australia are sold out. I mean, that's the thing, and we talked about this before with like when companies have done all this stuff like microtransactions and things like that, is the reason that they know, like they know they can do it because people will just buy it. Like a lot of people are saying like, oh, you know, the Switch is too expensive, or like the games are too expensive, but then yeah, there you go, like pre-orders are sold out. So that's crazy. Did you ever play Ogre Battle 64 person or Lordly Caliber on the good old 64? I didn't have a 64 back in the day. I didn't get one until it was already like retro, like when I worked at the game shop, just to get like Smash Bros and GoldenEye. Because this is something I know we talked about in the past as well. Like obviously when consoles were, I wouldn't say necessarily that they were super expensive, but there weren't as many things out like at the time, I guess, that were really expensive, like the different options for things. So like if you were a kid, like you would have potentially a console, but you wouldn't have both, right? So it was like in the Sega generation, you'd either have a Mega Drive or you'd have a Super Nintendo. You wouldn't have both. And then like you'd either have a PlayStation or you'd have an N64. You wouldn't have both, right? So yeah, so I had Sega and then PlayStation. So it wasn't, I haven't really had any of the Nintendo consoles until later on when I had like some of them when they were already considered retro. And even then, like I think the oldest one I personally had was like a 64. You have to forget. I always forget. I was gonna say I could try this out with one of the new teams, but then I always forget like how much HP this guy has. Because we did a challenge on this stage last night, and then it took a crazy amount of time. Wave Race 64. Yeah, No Mercy. One of like my friend, my old housemate, so like No Mercy is considered one of the best like wrestling games, like from back in the 64 era. Unfortunately, it's one of those things where I played them. I think I did play No Mercy at some point, but it was like again years later when it was already considered retro, and at that point, I mean, I can see like certain games do have their charm, but like I'm not super into retro. Like if a game is like clunky to play and looks bad, like it may have been good at the time when it came out, but that's not something that I'm particularly interested in playing now. The only exceptions are like ones that I've already played. Transformation Boost versus Blue Goku. Yeah, the GameCube was classic. Like GameCube is so underrated, but it's unfortunately the typical situation that Nintendo has stumbled into multiple times. Of Nintendo shooting themselves in the foot for like no reason. I know we've definitely talked about this on a previous stream, but there's multiple things that like across the years of making their different consoles that Nintendo made choices that then lost them out on like huge amounts of the market. Transformation Boost. Let's get the category up. Who's actually the best leader to run? Okay, we've got a couple of different options for leaders. Could run like the Tech Buhan team. I haven't run Tech Buhan as a leader for ages. Wait, I have gone onto the right thing, right? How can he's got to be there. He can't be a leader for Transformation Boost and not be on the category. Why is he not at the top? He's right there. I don't know how I didn't see him. And then I got blinded by the int one, and I was like, why is the first tech unit Broly? Option Ember on the team. Oh yeah, let's not forget about this guy. And Frieza lowers attack, but he's also air. They made an alpha version of a PS3 emulator for Android. Damn. Yeah, Mario Sunshine. That was a classic. I wasn't a big fan of the art style for Wind Waker. I played it like a little bit, but... Just run Tech Cell, because why not, I guess.
Alright, let's do this.
Alright. But yeah, I was going to say, Nintendo, like... Because I know one of the big things I remember from back in the PlayStation and 64 thing... I know I've said, like, told this story on stream before. It might not even be true. I'm sure I read it in like a games magazine somewhere. So, like, it could even turn out that it's not actually true. But it was when, because Final Fantasy 1 to 6 were all on Nintendo consoles. And basically, Nintendo, Square, like, because at the time it was just Squaresoft before it was like Square Enix or whatever. Squaresoft turned around to Nintendo and were like, okay, so we're a certain amount of the way into development of Final Fantasy VII. The game is massive. Like, it's, you know, one of their most ambitious projects so far or whatever. Especially considering at the time, the graphics, like, were really good. Like, obviously not anymore or anything. But, so yeah, they went to Nintendo and were like, this game is going to be massive. Are you still going down the route of like cartridges for your next console, the N64, or are you going to switch over to discs like the upcoming PlayStation? Because basically, like, Final Fantasy VII won't work as a cartridge game. It'd have to be, I mean, I don't even know what the storage size for cartridges is, but it'd have to be like, could you imagine buying Final Fantasy VII and it was on the N64 instead of the PS1? And the box, it was like in a massive box that had like 10 cartridges in it or something. So yeah, when Nintendo were like, nah, we're going to stick with cartridge games for the 64, then yeah, Square like made the deal and brought Final Fantasy to PlayStation instead. And then obviously Final Fantasy 8, 9, they're on PS1, Final Fantasy 10, and PS2. So like, Nintendo lost the Final Fantasy franchise, which obviously at the time was like one of the biggest franchises in Japan. And yeah, they lost the Final Fantasy franchise because they decided to stick with cartridges instead of switching to discs. And it's always something hardware related, because then you had the GameCube, and the GameCube arguably, in terms of like the peak games, like if you look at I'm talking about quality as well. If you look at games like Twin Snakes, there's another one I always forget that looks really, really good. Like GameCube games could look absolutely insane when they're like pushed to their limit for the hardware. There's a lot of ways that on paper the GameCube was better than the PS2, but the problem is that they decided, again, when it comes to hardware, rather than doing what now everyone else was doing, because PlayStation already existed. I can't remember when the original Xbox came out, whether the GameCube was out already, but obviously now everybody was switching to discs because they were much bigger for storage and everything. And so rather than just use normal discs like everybody else, GameCube was like, nah, we're going to use these like mini discs instead, because like obviously a CD is what, like this big. GameCube games are like this big. And the problem with that is that then when you think about, if you're like, when it comes to the games market, if you're a parent and you're going to buy a games console for your kid for their birthday or for Christmas, not only did the GameCube, I mean, it had a lot of the same games, but I think overall it still had a smaller catalogue than PS2. But even if you didn't know that, are you going to buy the PS2, which plays games, chances are, because it was already the more popular one, like, is probably the one that their friends have. But it also, because it takes normal sized discs, it's also a CD player and a DVD player. Or are you going to buy the GameCube, which comes with these weird little mini discs that don't support like anything else? So not only was it a games console, like I said, the PlayStation 2 was a games console and a DVD player and a CD player. So obviously when it came to like people outside of the specific like hardcore gaming sphere, like if people would just be buying PS2s instead of GameCubes because you could do those extra things with them. And then of course after the GameCube era moved on to the Wii, and obviously that's where Nintendo, I guess, really made like the biggest change, where Nintendo, I guess largely because they knew that they couldn't compete as like the hardcore gaming market anymore. Like it was literally just all about PlayStation versus Xbox at that point. So then Nintendo just fully pivoted with like the Wii, and it's just like, yeah, now we're just all about casual and family game, like fun party games and motion games and all that kind of stuff. And they still released like new Mario and new Zelda games and stuff, but they weren't like, they just became the sort of the more casual gaming like company. But yeah, I mean PS2 was crazy. Like PS2 was the thing like at the time. Yeah, I remember my friend playing that nuts and bolts one because you could make like random vehicles and stuff, which was kind of fun. But yeah, it didn't capture the like charm of like the original games, that like the ones that everyone loved. But that's the thing, is it's also a very niche like thing. Like the Wii came out, and I remember because I was working at the game store like when the Wii came out, so I bought one the day it came out, took it home. I got like 3 of the games I think that came out on the first day. Took it home, played it for like the evening, and then the next day I brought it back into the shop like all in a box and sold it to somebody that came in that wanted one, because obviously they were all sold out straight away. Because yeah, I just didn't like it. And everyone has their own like what's the word I'm looking for? Everyone has their own preferences when it comes to those types of things, but the motion stuff, like especially back then when I was someone who was working already, and it wasn't a particularly difficult job, And it's like, when you come home from work and you want to sit and play games in the evening, I just want to sit and play with a controller, not have to jump around and wave my arms around all over the place. Plus, I think one of the games that came out first was it called Red or something? It was like a game with like you had like a sword and a gun. But it wasn't the kind of thing that I guess we do have now, where the specific way you move, like the controller, that's how your character would move their hand. It would literally just be a thing. You have to flick the controller and he would do the sword attacks. But it wouldn't be like the exact way you were moving the controller, which like that kind of thing would be really fun. But yeah, like I was just very disappointed with it overall. Motion controls and even like things like VR and stuff, it's just not my preference for gaming. Doesn't mean I don't think they're cool sometimes. Like obviously like with Mario Party, some of the motion games are really funny. VR can be really cool for like specific gaming things, and, like certain experiences and stuff. But it's not the kind of thing that I would want to, like, that's how I want to play all my games all the time, kind of thing. We was the secret exercise machine. I mean, yeah, that was another one of the selling points, I guess. Because it was like, hey, families, like, you can get this games console, and not only can you all play the games together, but it means your kids are getting some exercise as well, rather than just being sat playing a PlayStation all day. A remake for The Suffering. I remember that. I can't remember, isn't the main character voiced by somebody famous, like actor who I would definitely recognise the name of, but at this exact moment can't remember. I need to keep this guy on rotation because he's going to get his domain next. Ningen Law. Yeah, I have told all of these stories before. That's why I gave up on Pokemon Go and Monster Hunter. If I'm on the go, I generally don't have the time to pull out my phone and search for stuff. Yeah, I mean, Pokemon Go obviously had that little bit of a surge because, again, it was like a thing. Oh, Kid Buu didn't negate the super, nice. It was like a thing to like get you out of the house for people that like maybe wouldn't, and like just go on a bit of a walk. I remember the place that I used to work, because when Pokemon Go first came out, obviously I downloaded it and played it for a little bit and then got bored and obviously didn't want to spend money on it or anything. But yeah, there was a place like just down the road, and like, literally the road. Not when I know sometimes when people say down the road, they mean like 5 or 10 minutes away, but I mean like literally on the road that the building was on that I worked. So like on a night shift, like we'd go down for like our break and then just like go for a wander down the end of the road to go to like the Pokemon stop that was there. The majority of summer camera was literally on their phones playing Pokemon Go. Yeah, it's funny seeing like being out somewhere and just seeing all these people walking around with their phones looking for Pokemon. And obviously, like, it's one of those things you absolutely could play the game for free, but it's one of those ones. If I remember rightly, I might be misremembering it as well, but it's one of those. Wasn't it one of the ones where it's like you could? The benefit of paying like a bit of money here and there was to like speed up the process for things, like hatching eggs, and then getting like you could pay for like some of the better items or like better Pokeballs and stuff like that, right? I can't even remember now. Like I say, it's been a very long time since I had played. Like I mean like when it pretty much first came out, I played it for like a couple of weeks and that was it. Right. Yeah, I played some of the Monster Hunter games in the past. I played the last big one before Wilds on the Xbox. Played it co-op with some of my friends a little bit, but it was... I didn't get the new one because I think Monster Hunter is one of those games for me, kind of like Diablo, where every single one is the same, where I get the game, get super into it for like a very short amount of time, and then something just like clicks and I get bored of like the grind and then just don't like lose interest in playing it. And Monster Hunter, there is obviously a lot to learn for the best strategies, like best way to play the different weapon types, all the monster types and stuff. Not to say that that's like difficult, but it's just something you kind of have to put a lot of time and thought and effort into, which I didn't want another game like that, like right now. I remember walking a circuit around where I lived to hit 5 Pokestops. Nice. Excited for Pokemon Champions. Top 5 games ever. Oof. It's hard because I used to say this all the time when people would ask about I know it kind of seems like a cop-out answer as well, but when you're really passionate about something, whether it's like games, movies, like music, when somebody says like what is the best one, or what are the top 3 or top 5, it's so hard because there are so many games that are good for different reasons, like competitive, chill, like sense of accomplishment, like that kind of thing. I don't know, but top 5 would have to be, it'd have to be in like no particular order, because it'd be way too hard to break them down into an actual 1 to 5. But for me, top 5 games ever is probably Final Fantasy VII, the original Dark Souls, Fallout New Vegas, Silent Hill 2, that's 4. Trying to think. I got Cell and Slug and the androids for my birthday yesterday, almost tradition. What setups you recommend? Hey, happy birthday for yesterday. Slug's team is pretty fun with the demonic power, especially if you have some of those extreme demonic power like Heroes characters. Bloodborne cart. I mean, that's the thing. I think I could include like the other Dark Souls games, because like Dark Souls 3 is a very close second to Dark Souls 1 for me in terms of like best like Soulsborne games, but because yeah, Fallout 3 was like insane, but then New Vegas was just better. Because like when Fallout 3 first came out, that was a game changer, because obviously it became the big first person like massive thing compared to what like Fallout 2 was. I think that's the Resident Evil game. I probably would. I was trying to think. That's the thing. I'm trying to think of the last one. That's again, like I said, there are so many games to choose from. Like to only choose 5 as like the best 5. And the first 4 were fairly easy, but I'm trying to think whether it'd be like the original Resident Evil 2 or 3, maybe. Let's have a look. LR Tech Demon King Piccolo handled the Demon King Piccolo fight. Dragon Ball Seeker's mission on a demonic power team. How many Dragon Ball Seeker characters did you have to use again? There's only 4. Janemba's not on Worldwide Chaos, no. 4 Dragon Ball Seekers. Yeah, it's so funny because it's like he was. Isn't it supposed to be like they cause destruction or something all around the world or something? Because obviously, technically, Janemba was a threat to the world because everything was going to collapse, like because of the weird blockage to the other world. But it wasn't a threat to the actual like the Earth itself on the Earth specifically, which is a dumb reasoning for him not being on the category, but yeah, Meki Cabra. Although the team doesn't really have a lot of good slot 1s, but give it a go. The problem is like Glorio, I talked about this a little bit in the video I did yesterday with like Cell on Glorio's team, is that Glorio's team really suffers in events that can rotation lock, like this one, because if Glorio gets locked outside of slot 3, it messes up your whole like flow, the whole synergy of the team. Also, this is super awkward. Great no links active turn here. Love to see this. Yeah, Demigro was like this close to being like a top tier, like slot 1. Hope the part 2 isn't someone like Kefla or Kid Buu. Considering it's a yellow coin LR, they'll probably fall off quickly. They need a Carnivore or Dokkan Fest LR first. Yeah, I guess it depends, because, I mean, like, yeah, Cell Max was the last yellow coin LR that was really good when he came out, but he has, like, fallen off already. I mean, the most important thing, like I say, is that the unit is just, like, good for Cell's team. And I was saying yesterday, if they did a thing where it was like a Super Saiyan 4 Goku type thing, where the unit was giving extra damage reduction to allies, that would make Cell so much better. Hey, I appreciate you, Dean. I enjoy my Sunday mornings because of your stream. Thank you, thank you. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Subscribe if you are new. We did recently hit our 30,000 subscriber milestone, which is pretty crazy. Dokkan obviously is very quiet at the moment, but yeah, Gotenks is a Carnival LR. And we'd expect Carnival LRs to be really good. Part 2, no, the last time, wait, was Ginyu? No, Ginyu was a yellow coin LR, right? Let me get back to... I can find where the Ginyu, like, banner was. Yeah, it was just a legendary summon banner. So yeah, it was just yellow coins. So that's the thing. This year, they could make the Part 2 LR a carnival. There's nothing to, like, stop them. But I imagine it probably is just going to be a normal yellow coin LR. Although I do wonder, will they actually, like, will they increase the leader skill for yellow coin LRs? Because they should, really, now that we're in, like, a new leader skill meta. But whether they actually do or not, obviously remains to be seen. But because that's the thing, they actually, like, because of, like, how long it takes some Carnival LRs to come back, they need to actually have more single drop, like, Carnival LR banners throughout the year, so that those units have more opportunities to actually come back. Mechicabra ideally wants 2 rainbow orbs, so welcome to Memorial Stones. That's the thing that's only for the worldwide celebration. At least getting the rainbow orbs means he got some guaranteed additional super, and then he got another one, which is good. Because yeah, Mechicabra not supering is not ideal for his stats, but if you get the 2 rainbow orbs, he gets a guaranteed additional super anyway. And then he got the hidden potential one as well, which is helpful. 4 months away from worldwide already. It's part 2 when we're getting the 3 10-year tickets. I think so. Yeah, Glorio definitely not the tankiest pre-super. Nice, gets to dodge. Again, not getting great orange. The fact that this guy lowers your key by so much is super annoying. I personally think this year will be all Carnival LRs, so making a 10-year celebration. I mean, it's not impossible. Yeah, Dodgeball Demon King Piccolo not coming in clutch here. Post Super, he's fine. Like, he's taking 70k from the normals, and then post Super, he tanks the Super for double digit damage. So you're not really a slot 1. Character transforming nullifies the enemy, reducing the key effects on them for that turn. I don't believe so. There we go, that's what we needed. You have Dokkan Fest exclusive transforming Sin with Oceanus as the banner unit and Over and Ice as the Part 2 LR. GT bosses stocks. Stonks. I can't remember if he all changes when you transform him or not, so yeah, he does, so I wanted to transform him first just in case. $36 million for free-to-play LR Demon King Piccolo, it's pretty good. I mean, this Demon King Piccolo supers for like, I don't know how many. Actually, no, he's not the final boss one, so he's not the 6k one. Demon King Piccolo. Yeah, this one supers for like 3.6 million. A free-to-play Demon King Piccolo type neutral took 300k. That's pretty good for an attack that hits that hard for a free-to-play character. Are you serious? You want to make a card in slot 1. I mean, he can potentially survive with enough rainbow orbs because it gives him the damage reduction, but not if he's going to get supered. Okay. Nice, the triple super 10. I'd love to see that. Yeah, that let's see that goes on in Demon King Piccolo's mind. Zero. just need to be done with this phase already. I think we will be done because I think Sug's going to die here. Yeah, and now Big Bad Boss is active. Takes no damage, auto crits as a massive Goku. Wait, who? Goku family support? Oh, hypothetical LR Chi-Chi transforms into Chi-Chi Rage mode. We have the Kaioken Chi-Chi. I did finish off all of these, didn't I? But yeah, so let me know before we go here. We've got a couple of minutes. One of the videos I'm going to make today is the Part 2 LR speculation. So let me know who you guys think, so I can not miss some off the list. So we've already talked about, we've got MVP 17, Hit Kefla, Kid Buu. I'll put on there just because, you know, lol. LR Kid Buu finally. But yeah, MVP 17, Hit Kefla, Kid Buu. I mean, because ideally we want it to be someone that's on Cell's team. I mean, I guess Bye Guys Goku is still potentially an option. I just don't think it's very likely, but... Kaioken Blue Goku. I mean, I guess technically he's in tournament participants, right? Because he's from the fight against Hit, but that would be so random. I guess I could put him on there, but it could be one of the honourable mentions at the end, I suppose. It's 5 AM here, going to sleep. Good night, Ningen. Enjoy hanging out with you. Hey, no worries, Wrath. I appreciate you. Take it easy. Cell Saga Piccolo. I personally, I think that's probably one of the least likely ones. We got the random like Namek, Goku, and Gohan and Piccolo not long ago. I say not long ago. It was like towards the end of last year, but. It'd be randomly awesome. Yeah, fair. Yeah, MVP 17 is on the list. I think he might be the one I think is maybe the most likely. Because like I don't know if they're gonna do a yellow coin LR that has the reversible exchange mechanic straight away. Because otherwise, like a 17 and 18 reverse exchange would be really cool. But I don't think I can see that as being like a upcoming like yellow coin LR. 17 from the Cell Saga. Maybe I'll just mention like 17 and Piccolo and the fact that like people always want to see them as a thing. So could that be a thing? One of them. I don't think so, but yeah, that's a good for you to be talking about in the video. But anyway, that takes us up to the time. So we're going to be wrapping up the stream here. I appreciate you guys coming out. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. No late stream today. I'll get the schedule made for next week and posted up in the Discord and the YouTube community tab and on Twitter as well. Oh, yeah, Hercule was... I don't know, because we just got a banner unit Hercule for the anniversary, but that would be a funny one. Plus, he is there. He is like a free-to-play LR as well, But yeah, that's going to be it for the stream. I appreciate you guys coming out. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.